Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines this morning. ETH and the truth comes out. We're going to get into it. California and Bitcoin? Uh-oh. Executive order, brace yourself. We may know why you need to brace yourself, too. Crypto crackdown starting to sound like a Karen Carpenter song for those of you to get it. It's only just begun. Crypto regs are not just about crypto, and we're going to cover that today. At least 1, 2, or 3 U.S. agencies understand Ripple and XRP, and we're going to show it to you, and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Before we get started, we will be on Facebook this morning, 9:30 a.m. to 9:45. We will start live. We're on Facebook, Digital Perspectives News, no spaces. Join us there for a great conversation. Take a look. It is February 20th, 2022. Good Sunday morning to everybody. 1.974 trillion. Right here, right now, it says we're up 10.16% on the crypto market cap, but Bitcoin is still 38,200 plus, Ethereum 2,600 plus. We see now XRP is at 79 cents, still holding that number 6 spot. Let's take a look at the price range quickly. We got a lot to get into this morning. 77 cents on the bottom, 85 cents on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. Take a look at this right here. Ethereum going down, being thrown to the wolves. It's just a matter of time, says Bond Crip, and I think he's right there. This is an article from Morgan Stanley saying Ethereum less decentralized, Ether more volatile compared to Bitcoin. You know, this is the kind of stuff you start seeing. You better pay close attention to this kind of news. And I tell you, look, I'm not saying that ETH won't be around 10 years from now, but I am asking the question, how will they survive when you had companies like Algorand Foundation introduces $10 million grant program to deliver Ethereum compatibility? Algorand will take over ETH in the future, says Bond Crypt. Algorand believes in a multi-chain world. This is super grant will move us towards that inevitability. This is the CEO, Stacey Warden. And take a look at this, because I can tell you this, whether it's Algorand or somebody else, if you could do better than $2.84 to $31, and we've seen hundreds of dollars for an Ethereum transaction on that network. Algorand currently coming in at about 9 cents. Now, I think you need to get that down to 9 thousandths of a cent, Algorand. But nevertheless, I could see where people would want to move away from ETH to Algorand for that. I could also see them wanting to move to XLM or XRP out of all of these because of it. So we will keep an eye on what goes on there. But I do believe there is going to come an inflection point of that understanding for people on the ETH network. You know, if you're running the ETH network and you're the one charging somebody those exorbitant fees, you don't really care. You're making great money. But I'll tell you what, you'll not be taking my money because I won't be using the network. Attorney James K. Filan says unsealed SEC versus Ripple documents favor Ripple. We went over this yesterday. If you haven't seen it, please go watch the video from yesterday. We broke down the unsealed documents, which really just gave a broad legal breakdown of every way that you could examine what they call Ripple credits, which we know to be XRP, because it was from back in 2014, I believe it was. And really, the breakdown from the legal analysis supports Ripple's case greatly. Take a look here, because this was John Deaton on Link 2, and I covered this yesterday as well in depth. You need to go watch that video from yesterday if you haven't done it. And this here, ProCoin News, is on top of it. Make sure you give them a follow, and everybody that we cover here. John Deaton gives update on the Ripple case, and basically what he says is, imagine this case out of the way, Ripple moves to an IPO. Imagine the break in price just going to a meager $2 point, giving Ripple easily $100 billion valuation. Think of that. Now, John Deaton is also in the Link 2 family as well, so that is full disclosure on that. But this article is really fantastic. Please go watch it. And it covered a lot of people commenting on the tweet that I shared with the clip of John breaking down that. And remember, Link 2's valuation is at $7.9 billion, and currently Ripple has a $15 billion valuation, which means that it's essentially the shares at Ripple on Link 2 are almost half off. That's what we're talking about in price. So, I think it speaks for itself. There's not much left, and there never is. Once they get a block of it and put it up, it goes quite quickly. So if you're interested in it, don't fool around. CBDC, China's digital yuan, wrapping up its Olympic test run here. Look, this is really being shown to you because I want to show you the next few things too. Jamaica is polishing up everything before launching its new CBDC. Then take a look here. And California could make Bitcoin legal tender. New bill introduced by political advisors. This is following Texas and the bill that was introduced there to make Bitcoin legal tender. Now, is anyone surprised by the pressure of the global level of the digital yuan? Now on a state level within the United States, it's coming from all sides, ladies and gentlemen, which is why I believe President Biden is expected to issue that executive order next week. Now, in the headlines, I said, brace yourself, because this is like a Karen Carpenter song. It's only just begun, right? I'm telling you, there's a lot to come here. The brace yourself part is because I don't know if we're going to get anything really revealing from the executive order when it drops, other than the executive order appears from Yahoo Finance to compel all of the necessary agencies to do the work, write the reports, report back to the president. Could be as much as 90 to 180 days. So looking at 180 days, let's just call it March, April, May, June, July, August. We're August before they report back if they go the 180 days, right? And then you got to have the interpretations of the report and everything, and then we're going to see what happens from there, right? So August or later, unless they get it done in a 90-day time frame. So we'll keep an eye on it. But this is what is happening while we know this executive order is about to drop, really engaging all of these other agencies. And we're about to hear and see from some of these other agencies that are not confused about Ripple and the difference between that and XRP and how beneficial it can be to the system. And you're going to see that before we get out of here today. Top Justice Department official says the federal government's recent high-profile crackdown of the illegal use of cryptocurrency is only just beginning, as I said. And we know that the new agency has been made, covered it yesterday, right? I just want to highlight this again. NCET, N-C-E-T, National Crypto Enforcement Team. There you have it, new division from the FBI. So it's coming. We just don't know exactly how they're going to try to handle it, and that's the part that we're bracing for. The EU says they're open to cryptocurrency as long as there is regulation. They have been discussing options to integrate cryptocurrencies in the financial system. I can see which assets will be the only one regulated soon. I can too, BondCrypt, and I think it'll be XRP and XLM and maybe a small handful of others. Keep a lookout, because it's not just about cryptocurrency regulation. It's also about how it is interoperable with the ability and scaled use to settle derivatives in the securities market. And this is a clip right here that I played for you last week and the week before of Gary Gensler, Hester Peirce, Allison Heron, and Caroline Crenshaw, who all voted unanimously to use distributed ledger technology. Now, I am speculating that I believe that distributed ledger technology, DLT, when said, is code for XRP ledger. Yes, I am speculating. So let me be clear on that. You don't have to agree with me, but that's my interpretation. Why is that my interpretation? Well, I'll tell you why it's my interpretation. It's because when we look at these fees, right, and we understand that they're the lowest out here, and when we understand also the interoperability of the XRP ledger as well, I think we get a pretty good matchup, understanding they can also scale, it's secure, settle 3 to 5 seconds, right? What else? What else? XRP Ledger, XLM Network. These, to me, look like the obvious solutions. We'll find out. If I'm wrong, I'll make the video. But here we see, this is from Light Shines in the Darkness, Matthew Linai, according to the Department of Homeland Security, going all the way back to 2014, Ripple is based on a consensus algorithm and is not controlled by a centralized institution or government. Users cannot invest in Ripple. Check it out. Looky here. December 14th, Homeland Security. They got it back in 2014. Here it is right here. XRP in circulation. It says right here is not controlled by a centralized institution. Can we get this over to the SEC for Gary Gensler to get a look at there? Can we? Jorge Tenrero. Oh, he's not on the case anymore, but you know who I'm talking about. Everybody on the SEC side of the table needs to take a look at that. And they need to remember this. FinCEN, 1 year later, in 2015, ruled that XRP was not a currency, and in fact ruled that it was actually a virtual currency, not a security, and ruled that it was a virtual currency. Excuse me. That's 2 agencies. Well, how about a third one? How about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau back in July 21, 2020, had this to say, and it's right here, and they talk about Swift GPI tracking product, and they talk about Ripple, such virtual currency companies as Ripple, right? Support platform for money cross-border transfers with virtual currency that can be used to effect settlement of those transfers. And this is for the means by which banks and credit unions could reduce the remaining reliance on estimates, right? So in other words, for the first time in the history of cross-border transactions, you're talking about banks and credit unions being able to send a receiver understand the charge and the path of payment before accepting it. Because in a wire transfer, and I've done plenty of them across the world, you let that money go, you don't know the path it goes, and you just hope that it gets there. And that may not sound real to you, but it's very real. And it's very real when you got lots of money that you just let go, that you hope it all gets there. And then you got to deal with a currency fluctuation normally. When I was sending money to China, then by the time the money got there, 5 days later, 4 or 5 days later, then I had to pay a currency differential on top of the fee itself. So, you know, this is 1, 2, 3 agencies within the United States that have no confusion over what Ripple and XRP are. We should all see this case as a vetting process, right? A confirmation process, just like confirming someone as it being appointed to an agency. That's how I see this. That's how I see this case. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. And like, again, if I am, I'm going to be really out it, but I'm in it for the long run. And tell you who else is too. It's Cathie Wood and Hall of Famer Jungle Inc. right here. And she talks about if we're right, the rewards will be enormous. Take a listen right here.
They're shorting innovation, and that seems to me over time that's not going to be a business. If you ask me, consider the source. But they're also not doing any research. They're simply shorting innovation. If they were doing research and could point us to reasons why what we have included in our portfolio is not going to participate in the new world order, then we might have a conversation about it. But the idea of shorting innovation in America is ridiculous, I think. But here's what I do know. When I see, and this is investor psychology, when I see people so sure that we are wrong, and that they are willing to set up companies simply to short innovation, and to set up funds to short innovation. You know that investor psychology, the pendulum, has swung so far in one direction that if we're right, then the rewards are going to be enormous.
I don't know how.
And there you go right there. And I'm with Cathie Wood on that one, to be honest with you. Whether you, look, I mean, some of us think it's Bitcoin, some of us think it's Ethereum, some of us think it's XRP, some of us think it's XLM or some other project, Algo, whatever. It could be there's 11,000 plus projects out here, you know. And for a time, I know that there's been moments when I've been spread across many different assets, and I am in a little bit of the metaverse, a little bit of NFTs, right? I'm heavily, as you know, in XRP and XLM, right? Algorand, Decentraland. This is where I get it, because when I think about all this stuff, this is where I go for the stuff that I want, and I'm going to break that down for you right now. ADA, Algorand. Let's see, what else have I got here on I Trust Capital? Because this is why, and I tell you, XLM, I've got XRP on there, which you can't get right now because, you know, it's frozen till the case is over, but I chose to leave it there because I feel like it'll get resolved. And then also Decentraland. I mean, these are all projects, and look, there's many projects. You can see the tons of options to participate in on this network. Algo, if I didn't say it. So, you know, this is really exciting to me because I believe Cathie's right. I don't know if I'm right about the things that I'm invested in, or if you are. I don't know. It's not financial advice. But the only thing better than buying cryptocurrency is buying tax-free crypto. And looking at the long play on this for me, I want to have a portfolio that I know is tax-free at some point that I'm not going to touch until I get to 59, and then I know I can access that money, and it is tax-free when I do. I Trust Capital. There's a link in the description, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess around. Make sure you check it out. No monthly fees. They currently just had finished $125 million capital raise, and they have a valuation of over $1.3 billion. They are getting it done. So make sure you check them out. I'll catch all of you on the next one.